to compare it with Wikipedia. So very much the Wikipedia of maps, for several reasons. First of all, it is a mass collaboration. We've got getting on to 400,000 registered users, trying to get lots of people involved in editing the map. So you can view the map, you can move across onto the Edit tab, brings you into this vector editing map environment. Similar to Wikipedia, it is all about open license stuff as well, I think shared Creative Commons license. And similar to Wikipedia again, it is there is an overseeing organisation, a non-profit foundation. And again, similar to Wikipedia, we haven't managed to register as a charity in the UK, but effectively we're a charity. It really deserves to be a charity, is what I'm trying to say. Unlike Wikipedia's foundation, it's quite a small operation. They haven't employed anyone, so there's very little money changing hands actually. So just a little bit of money per service being managed by the foundation. Everyone involved in OpenStreetMap are volunteers, including the people who maintain the servers and developers. So that brings me on to introduce myself. I'm a volunteer and an enthusiast of OpenStreetMap, have been since 2006. So I do have a day job. I work at placer.co.uk, do open data services and geotechnology stuff. So I've got a related day job, and I do get to use OpenStreetMap a little bit in my day-to-day work. But in general, I'm a volunteer for OpenStreetMap. So what about using OpenStreetMap? Well, a lot of people will think about using maps in terms of embedding a map on their own website. You can certainly do that with OpenStreetMap. So here's the University of Oxford's website showing OpenStreetMap as a slippy map with JavaScript. And what's going on when you embed a map in that way? Actually, there's two different things going on. And with Google Maps, you're not really familiar with separating things out in this way. With OpenStreetMap, you have to just think of these things separately. So there's a separate project called OpenLayers, which is a JavaScript map embedding library that will run on the browser, and it will request maps from OpenStreetMap. And it will request them as tiles, so little square images of map data. But you can in fact chop and change and use different JavaScript libraries to embed maps. So there's a whole myriad of different open source options there. OpenLayers is the most popular open source option, which is why you tend to see OpenLayers embedded in websites showing OpenStreetMap. But you can even use the Google Maps JavaScript and bring in OpenStreetMap tiles, which is pretty interesting when you think about it. It looks kind of weird, but if you've got a website with all kinds of clever mark logic already coded, then you can still bring in OpenStreetMap as the background base map. So the message really for web developers is go forth and do this. Use OpenStreetMap. Use the OpenStreetMap tile server. It's all shared as Creative Commons, so it's free to do that. Mobile developers too, so you can bring in the tiles into mobile apps in the same way. So we've got an OpenStreetMap tile server pumping out tiles to different websites around the web and also onto the homepage of OpenStreetMap, of course. But that's not really the full picture. We're missing something here. So raw data is on this server. We have to convert raw data to tiles in a process called rendering. So we're going from the geographic locations of the coordinates of the streets, converting that into a raster map image, and chopping it up into tiles. And actually, raw data, as it turns out, is what OpenStreetMap is really all about. The raw data itself is open license, so releasing the Creative Commons license as well. You can access all of the underlying data that makes up the map through an API, or you can download the entire data set as a single massive download. And that's something that you won't get with Google Maps. So there it is, open data, OSM data moving into the tile server, and also available via APIs and Planet downloads. So let's have a look at the API. The API is a Ruby on Rails application, actually the same application as the website that runs OpenStreetMap. And it's a read-write API, so the editing software that you use to contribute to OpenStreetMap will hook into the database via the API. And it's an open API, so other people can develop editors, in fact, or you can use it for other kinds of applications. So downloading small bounding blocks of data, for example. But actually, most developers will tend to find the Planet downloads more useful for doing interesting things. So the Planet downloads are really quite a massive 16 gigabyte file of compressed XML. But you don't have to you can download that once and then keep it in sync on your server by downloading the diffs. So every minute, for example, you could pull in shapefile and keep up to date with the updates from the OpenStreetMap community. And that, as it turns out, has an interesting consequence that you get this sort of middle tier of services setting up on top of OpenStreetMap. So they're all doing this thing, syncing with the diffs, providing extra geo services using OpenStreetMap. So as developers yourselves, you can do that thing, run a server. Perhaps you only want a small bit of data, you don't want to handle the whole planet file, so if you're more interested in the extracts, you can take just the UK, for example, or you can take a conversion of the OpenStreetMap data into a shapefile format, popular one, for example, or Garmin e-Trex format loading onto your Garmin device. Nominatim is kind of a code word for a search system, also running as a kind of semi-external system based on OpenStreetMap. And Zappy is an extended API. So this is an interesting one which will let you do more flexible queries, so you can extract all of the libraries in the UK, for example. And there's been some development on Zappy recently, so that's become a lot more stable. Have a look at it. So as you can see, we've got a sort of tree of data emerging here. And as it turns out, the OSM tile server thing, the kind of Google Maps thing, is kind of quite a small part of what OpenStreetMap is about. What about running your own tile server? That's certainly an option as well. So this is where it gets really pretty. You can bring in the OpenStreetMap data onto your own server and render the tiles in your own style. So picking out, making the cartographic choices yourself, picking out what you want to emphasize on the map. So you see some examples here. There's a whitewater tanking map up there. This is a transport map. This is very popular, opencyclemap.org, showing cycle routes. So now we've got those appearing on the picture as well. And you see the whole Google Maps serving out tiles kind of operation is really a very minor part of the operation, especially when you consider that you can run your own tile servers. Running your own tile servers is quite a technical process. You can use software called Mapnik is the most popular alternative, but it's a real pain to install, actually, to be honest. So we're really working on trying to make this stuff easier, and we can do with help with that. But the other consequence of these other tile servers being out there, of course, is that as a web developer, you've got a choice of tile servers to point at. You can still be using OpenStreetMap for actually pointing at another server. So take a look at, for example, open.mapquest.com or maps.cloudmain.com. Do interesting things with tile servers. So you can really see the way that things are branching out from the middle of this diagram. And as it turns out, OpenStreetMap is all about open geodata. And the knock-on consequence of all this is that people can do really amazing, interesting, unique things because they've got access to raw data. So interesting 3D visualizations. A lot of these are kind of university projects as well, so not well-funded commercial operations or anything like that. Some of them are commercial operations. This is from Placer, for example, UK travel options down on the free iPhone app. So, I've got a bit more time. Skip on to some other slides. So, yeah, the other message, of course, for everyone is we need people to help building the map. This is a huge task. It needs a lot of people. In the same way that there's a lot of people involved in it. Wikipedia, we need a lot of people contributing to the map, but also geographically dispersed people as well. So if you're interested in that, do get involved. Here in London, you can come along to our regular meetups. But you'll find this community OpenStreetMap stuff going on all over the place.
Where should I go?
If you go to wiki.openstreetmap.org, that's all the kind of documentation for OpenStreetMap. But also it's got a page called Mapping Projects, which will take you through to different countries. You can drill down to different regions. And you'll find, hopefully, on there some information welcoming you to the community. And if there isn't any information on there, please go ahead and edit the wiki and help welcome people. The other kind of extra slides I've got here are to the Ordnance Survey. So you may be wondering about the Ordnance Survey free data releases. Does this make it OpenStreetMap pointless? Well, this is an old slide that we used to show. There's Ordnance Survey, big mapping agency, expensive, high quality data. And as OpenStreetMap moves along the quality scale at a zero price point, that drives the price of Ordnance Survey down. And basically we succeeded in doing that. So there was open data releases from Ordnance Survey, which was a hugely positive thing, and I like to think that we played our part in making that happen. but they only actually release certain data sets. For example, OS Street View is a low quality raster data set. It's good enough to it's good enough to look pretty similar to OpenStreetMap in terms of completion, street name, that sort of thing. But it is only raster, so you don't get this kind of flexible pattern that you get with OpenStreetMap. And I like to think as well that we're helping to continue to exert downward price pressure on some of the more fine-grained detailed data sets that surveys still have. Particularly master map is the one you see with really nice detail. You can't really compete with that level of detail. But we are exerting a downward pressure on the price point. So I'm probably going to wrap it up there. So just as a final word, things we need help with are we need people to use OpenStreetMap, because if you put it on your website, more people seeing OpenStreetMap will drive people to help contribute to it. We need people to really come up with interesting uses for the data, because that's the exciting, unique thing about OpenStreetMap. And we need developers to get involved in actually improving all of this on various levels of that sort of ecosystem of data. We need people to help make the flow of data easier, help make using OpenStreetMap easier. Remember, it is a not-for-profit, it's not quite a charity, so every time you help OpenStreetMap, it's a good thing to do. We are having a workshop this weekend, actually, happening right now, I'm missing it, but it happens tomorrow as well, so if anyone's really interested in London, come along tomorrow.